Howdy doody, everybody. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
Joe and I took turns getting sick. So, what you
Yeah,
do? What you can do? Nothing. That's what.
pretty much, pretty much.
Yeah, sorry about that, but hey, we're back. We're
Yeah,
back with a
life
cool
happens.
one about weird news. Because when we do that, I think we did something kind of like that on your show, and then Rob does it on his show, and it's interesting, especially we get to start talking about different things, so I thought that we'd give it a go. But before we do that, what you been up to, Joe,
Oh, that's a long
other
story. I
than
don't know.
struggling to live?
Yeah.
Clinging to
So
life.
yeah. Well, the short and skivvy of it was I wasn't necessarily like sick, like flu sick. I was just having some severe health problems, and I got ulcers really bad. So like there was a lot. I'll skip the gory details, but there's a lot of blood involved and loss of blood. And so I was like, for like a week, like I was literally like having to do laundry like twice a day because I was just bleeding everywhere. But
Yet you
so
wouldn't
I
go to the
finally, no, hang on.
the
But
text
anyways,
between us is like, hey, go to the doctor. No. Hey, go to the
yeah,
doctor. No.
nah, ain't happening. But so I started feeling better, and so I was out for like a week and a half. And I started feeling better, and I was like, all right, finally getting back to normal. And my son came over, my older son, he's 18. He came over for the night, hung out with me, watched movies and stuff. And like the next night, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow the car? I'm gonna go see my girl." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Dude, man, I don't want to," but I was like, I finally gave in. And I was like, "All right, but be back in a couple hours. This is like midnight." I was like, "Be back by like 3." And he's like, I promise, Dad, I'll be back by 3, blah, blah, blah. And at 3 o'clock rolls around, I call him and he's like, "Oh man, I had a flat." And I'm like, "All right." I was like, he's like, "I hit a speed bump." And I was
Going
like, "Okay." Yeah. And so he finally makes it to uh, the Waterburger in town, parks the car, and he starts looking at everything. And he literally broke 3 out of my 4 rims, like cracked them in half and blew all the tires out and shit. So, so I'm like, dude, you don't
Holy
do that
cow,
by,
dude.
yeah, like you don't do that hitting a speed bump, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he's like, oh,
the speed bump, right?
yeah, and he's like, all right, I'll level with you. And he ended up getting into it. Was him and the people in the car got into it with these other cats, and they started shooting at my kid, and so he punched on it and had to jump curbs and get the hell
Right.
out of there. And in the
Okay, well,
process, yeah. So long story short, uh, as soon as I found out that news, my ulcers go, "Oh yeah, well, we're not done with you yet because now you
guess
don't have
what?
a car." So it like kicked it right back off, and so I was sick for like another week till you finally got it fixed, and
Oh,
then my nerves, went back to normal.
well, shit. Tell Vector to calm down. Tell
No,
her to be
no,
decent as Gru. It
I'm telling you, dude, telling you, it was a horrible 2 weeks. It was
is
horrible.
a horrible 2 weeks. Holy shit. Do you have any cool bullet holes in your
No,
car?
but I got 4 because I had some pretty nice chrome rims on my car. Now
Yeah.
I got 4 of those completely black stock rims that are ugly as sin that I'm gonna have to buy hubcaps for.
Ah, sorry.
So I went from being half cool to not cool at all.
Wah,
But
wah.
I did they had to upgrade because the rubber on my tires was under warranty. So they did have to upgrade me to the #1 top Michelin defender. So I got 4 brand new
You should
top.
have gotten some off-road tires in case he decides to borrow the car again.
That's not happening. Again, he's gonna be like 50, and I'm gonna be like, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, remember 30 years ago? No, you're not borrowing the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet
So
little Vector.
that was my interesting part of my 2 weeks. But
Well,
yeah.
wow, yours was eventful. I didn't do shit. I didn't do any. I mean, other than I was sick a couple weeks ago, but outside of that, I just I don't have a story to report. It's interesting. There was no blood everywhere in my story. I wasn't shot at, thank God. I've been shot at twice already. I'm afraid the third time's gonna be the charm.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you come down with? Were you just getting the seasonal
Seasonal
change sickness?
bullshit. Yeah, just seasonal crap. So
Yeah.
it what came and went pretty quick, thank goodness. I finally got rid of the dry cough
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Finally got rid of that because that lingers forever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I hate that freaking throat itch thing. Just
yes, I can just breathe and mind
annoying.
your own business.
Yeah, it's freaking annoying.
Yeah. But like I said, no biggie. I guess we can jump into the news and let's see. Which one should we start with? Because I have some cool ones. So I'll let you pick. I'll read you the headline. I'll let you pick which one we go with first.
All right.
Yeah, the German hunters I want to do last, just because I don't give a crap about the story. It's the photo that accompanies it.
Nice.
It's epic. We're going to end the show with that one. But I've got alligators in the sewer myth. I've got violent humanoid robot flips out. Elon Musk's doppelganger and mysterious chupacabra-like creature.
Okay. So I think I've heard of 3 of these, but like the AI one, I couldn't tell if it was real or not. So
Looks
I
pretty
didn't.
real.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to subscribe to it or not. I was like,
Yeah, I mean,
I could,
I'm not claiming that all of these are 100% factual.
right,
Didn't go to the Daily News, but I don't know that I
right.
was too far up the ladder from something like the Star tabloid.
Well, let's start with that one.
The AI one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me figure out which stream mirror I'm on because I've got like 2 of them open. So I'm going to share with you the photo that accompanies it. And then I'll read you a little bit about it. Sure. This, on the left-hand side, flailing arms, and the Asian dude on the right looking terrified is the violent humanoid. Robot snaps, attacks factory workers in wild video. Went full Terminator is the quote there. And it says it was like a real life Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You gotta watch this video if you haven't seen it. This robot is going absolutely freaking bananas on these people. I don't know how to react to it. One dude's like, should I box it? Should I not box it?
It's just windmilling or what?
Yeah, it is. It's just like flailing its arms. Hold on, let me get rid of this photo. So it's like doing this, and it's on a peg, right? It's held up by its cranium.
Right.
So it's like it's going nuts, and the dudes are moving away, and it's like the thing is following them. Like it's reaching out for them as they're moving away, and it's just like flailing arms like a 7th grader trying to fight for the first time.
Dig
Uh,
it.
and it says, the rise of the machine seems closer than we might like to think. Freaky footage captured the moment that a humanoid robot seemingly snapped and lashed out at its handlers like something out of a dystopian sci-fi thriller. This is what the machine uprising might look like. Belarusian TV outlet Nexa captured an X clip of the alleged attack, which boasts over 100,000 views. So, in the unsettling clip, which was shot at an undisclosed factory in China, the bot is seen dangling from a construction crane on the factory floor near two men looking on cautiously. Uh, the two are chatting away when all of a sudden the automated biped goes berserk, flailing its arms and legs about in a spectacle that evokes a failed prototype from the RoboCop movies. At one point, the raging machine lurches forward while swinging, dragging the stand along with it as the men try to avoid getting robo-bopped. During the ruckus, the computer falls to the floor while several other items are knocked off the table. The clip concludes with one of the men flanking the angry automaton and dragging its stand back in place and attempting to stop its cybernetic rampage. So, you guys, this was a HuffPost video. Let me see if I can share. I don't know if it'll let me share. I've never shared before. So, extra camera, video file, image, share screen. Okay, we're going to share my screen. We'll try it. I said, no, sir. I keep getting a pop-up. Okay, never mind. It's not going to let me share.
See, okay. So I guess the one that I saw had to have been like a parody to it, because what it was is, the ones that are like the I don't know, they're like the AI chick dolls, but they have like the white bodies, like kind of like a robot.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I saw it, I think yesterday or today, and like a dude's like going up to it, and he's like rubbing on her stomach and like kind of like feeling her up, and she like snaps
to that, sir.
Yeah, she like snaps on him and starts smacking him, and it's like, whoa. But the body on the robot, or the armor, I guess, whatever, looked thick enough to where it could have been just a skinny chick in a suit. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, so I was like, because she looked like she had a little bit too much emotion. You know what I mean? Like, she was acting. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I think it was just a parody to that.
So I sent you the link to it. See if maybe you can share that, because that video is hilarious. It would be more hilarious if I wasn't convinced that, Skynet's going to become self-aware at any point in the near future. I mean, AI is a tool that's, oh gosh, we're just screaming into that dark void, like willy-nilly. There's so much that could go wrong with it. It does kind of scare me a little bit.
Let's see. I have done this before.
Breezy.
No. Is it working? Oh, there it goes. Bam.
All right, let's watch. Because This thing goes absolutely crazy. I have to watch the ads.
You got sound.
They're just chatting. What'd you bring for lunch today, man? I don't know. This robot's like, F your lunch, dude. The hell away from me. Ape. It is going crazy. So that's the video.
It looked like you ran into a bunch of yellow jackets.
I walked into a spider web.
Yeah.
That looks like me when I walk into spider webs, except I start stripping clothes off because I'm convinced that the spider got into my clothes. Like, I will take my hat off. I will start doing this as I am simultaneously just stripping down because I don't do spiders. Don't do spiders at all. At all. I appreciate that for what they do. I'm not looking to eradicate them. I just don't want them anywhere near me.
Yeah. Jen's the same way. Actually, I was surprised. She killed a freaking giant spider today.
Really?
Like the cat chased something underneath the couch, and she's like, "It'll chase something on the couch. Get up real quick!" And she like took the couch over, like like when moms are trying to save their babies and they lift up a car, and like she just like flipped the couch open and just started stomping. And I was like, "What the hell was that?" She's like, "It was a spider." I was like, "You killed it?" Because usually I'll get a yell from the other room to come and kill a spider. Yeah, she won't mess with it.
Yeah, see, Chris has to take care of the spiders for me, and I take care of any type of cockroach-like insect that we happen upon. I mean, we don't really have any in the house, but if there's like a palmetto bug or something crawling around outside, he'll lose his mind. And there was a time, because our house is so old and not insulated, there's gaps in some like places I'm sure that they're crawling. At one point, there was a palmetto bug on the wall, and Chris wasn't home for that, but I was like, I can't leave this stupid thing in. He's gonna flip out. So I got up, and it next to the wall with a shoe. He bum rushed me. That thing like ran at me. I was like, dude, I got a shoe. Headshot done.
Right.
That was a bold bug. He was like, what you got?
And what?
He was like your son in your car with the other group of people. What's up?
Yeah, Jen had me recently. I had to spray the whole perimeter outside of the house with insecticide because we're getting chiggers and all that. And dude, I was telling her, I was like, all right, just be ready because as soon as I do, they're gonna start flying inside. Sure enough, spiders and ants and everything started trying to get in and out of the poison grass. And yeah, so we've been fighting off bugs for the last, I don't know, half a month or so.
I've got 4 cats. They're my bug control.
Ours doesn't.
Generally speaking, that's their job.
Yeah.
Summer snacks. That's what those are.
Yeah. No, ours doesn't mess with it unless there's only a certain amount of bugs it likes. Like those little popping bugs, the ones that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She'll eat the shit out of those. But like if June bug gets in, she's like, hell no, that's y'all's problem.
Like that's anything that runs from them. It's like,
it kicks in their hunt.
Yeah. So which one is next? Is it alligators in the sewer? Elon Musk's doppelganger? Or the mysterious chupacabra-like creature caught on film? We're caught on.
I say alligators because that's the elephant in the room for the last 20 years.
Okay. Check that bad boy out.
Swamp puppy.
Yeah. Sure enough. You seen that movie Gator? You remember that movie Alligator?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That picture right there. That's a whole lot of no. That is just no. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I walk into your living room? Allow me to leave.
Yeah.
So this is another HuffPost story. Alligators in the sewer myth is true. City workers find out in jaw-dropping video. Oh, holy shit, there is a video. I just saw the photo. I was reading the article. There's a video. This thing is straight standing up in this thing. I gotta share it with Breezy again. Since my computer won't let me share for some reason. It's gonna be Breezy's job.
At least they got a job.
So the article goes on. This took place in Florida. Thank goodness it wasn't New York. But yeah, I'm not as shocked that it took place in Florida because if there were going to be alligators anywhere, I would expect it to be in the sewers there. But this is the article. So New York might not have those infamous alligators in the sewer, but Florida has the real thing. A work crew in Oviedo, Florida, proved the New York City urban legend was a Sunshine State reality after discovering a 5-foot-long gator residing in a sludge-filled pipe. Footage of the scaly subterranean terror is currently stirring up a crap storm on the city of Oviedo's administration Facebook page. Just another reason not to go wandering down into the stormwater pipes. Well, yeah, maybe you don't do that anyway. A spokesperson said of the new underground sensation, which was spotted Friday during a routine pothole inspection. Okay, it's a pothole inspection. Why were they in the sewer drains? Why were they in the storm drains?
Oh, I know this. Because when they do potholes, you got to make sure that it didn't go far enough to get into the piping.
Okay. Couldn't you just shine a light into the friggin' pothole?
Well, that might have been what it was. Usually they have like a little, like a wire-fed camera that goes down.
Well, this is a 5-foot pipe, so that's a decent sized pipe. That's a pretty good conduit.
Yeah, it is.
So, Public Works team had dispatched a robot with camera to get to the root of why a cluster of craters kept appearing on the road above, according to Jam Press. The workers soon found something far more terrifying lurking beneath the surface. Okay, this is just like the movie Alligator, where that bastard comes popping up through the road. He was popping up through it's all the alligator's fault. Those potholes. The little bastard. He's the one that caused him. He was trying to, he was just 5 feet. He was trying. Couldn't quite get it like the alligator in Alligator, but he was giving it a go.
He's like, dude, I need fresh air too.
Yeah, right.
I'm living in a sewer pipe.
I need some sunlight. I'm a gator.
You know what it smells like down here?
So the article goes on Friday's inspection, as you'll see in the video, they came across a 5-foot alligator. The mortifying moment was captured in a video footage that recalled the enduring big city myth that inspired the 1980 B movie Alligator and was further popularized by a scene stealer, Drew Barrymore, in Steven Spielberg's 1982 sci-fi classic E.T. I don't even remember that in E.T. Anyway, so there was a gator in the storm drains down there in Florida. Like I said, can't say I'm overly shocked by that one. But okay, Joe, let's share it. Let me add that there. And we'll hit.
Bam.
That gator's like, what? The what? The
He's like, I hate AI.
The hell? You're in my personal space, man. You are in my personal space. Look at this thing. Screw it. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
He's following us.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
That gator's going to go on his podcast talking about his UFO experience.
Right.
And
I was
it
nearly
was
abducted.
chasing
It followed me for miles.
me.
I mean, are you chasing it out or are you just further into the city? I mean, I feel like that poor thing. I mean, it's 5 foot long, but that's pretty small for a gator. I'm not saying that I want to wrestle it, but there's bigger ones out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's always a
Like he
bigger
said,
one.
well, at least it wasn't a clown. We all float down here. Okie dokie. So what do you think, Joe?
I mean, I'd
Do you think
never
there could be
kicked,
alligators in the sewers in like New York and all that?
yeah, I never kicked that one out of bed. I mean, who knows? Whether it's because people were flushing gators as pets, like that's suspect. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's all sorts of critters. We used to go through the sewers in Austin when we were kids. You find all sorts of weird stuff down there. Animals, raccoons, It's like, dude, what are you doing down here? Like, what are you doing down here?
Yeah,
So,
when I was younger, the thought of urban exploration, like going down into the storm drains and,
right.
you know, liminal spaces, it just creeps me the hell out anymore. And just knowing the type of people that tend to live in those spaces,
Yeah.
they know it way better than I do. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. One time we started we were like fourth grade or something, and we found this, like, we called it the room. And it was where like 4 tunnels connected, so I had one of those big uh concrete box places, and we could hang out there.
Right.
And we had the great idea of bringing a bunch of leaves with us and starting a campfire, and almost killed each other trying to get away because all leaves do is smoke. So yeah, I just created a giant freaking smoke filled tunnel system. We had to escape with our lives.
I want to live.
But yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, I don't put it far past the realm of reasonability to think that there's critters down there. It's cold, it's moist, it's away from the public, so yeah. If I
I
was a
mean,
gator.
cold and away from the public attracts me, but damp. I mean, you lost me at moist.
Moist.
Moist. Like a
It's
cake.
moist.
Like a Betty Crocker cake. So, okay, let's see. Let's move on.
So we got
So what do we got left?
Chupacabra and
Chupacabra,
Elon.
Elon Musk's unfortunate doppelganger, the poor dude. Can you
All
imagine
right. Well,
bullying that man's probably receiving currently?
so we went Critter, so let's go Elon, and then we'll go back to Critter.
Right. All right. Let me get back here. Let me get to my media assets and we'll take a look at Elon's doppelganger. So he's the guy on the left, for those of you who don't know. That's who everybody thinks is Elon Musk. And he looks super stoked about it. Look at him. Yeah. That's me. Don't torch my house. Don't follow me home. Don't threaten me. I am not that man, but whatever. Have you seen where people are rolling up behind Cybertrucks and they're projecting like all this BS on the back of the Cybertrucks?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find that video and share it with you. So people are rolling around finding Cybertrucks and projecting like anti-Trump and anti-Elon propaganda onto the back of the Cybertrucks.
With like light projectors, like
like a
oh,
projector, like a screen.
right.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I salute you, real men of genius. So yeah, so Elon Musk's doppelganger says he's constantly being harassed, and it's not a compliment.
Right.
So
Well, I mean,
Article reads, meet Elon Musk's doppelganger, a singer from Luxembourg who says his uncanny resemblance to the tech entrepreneur is not a compliment. Hugo 1, which, I mean, he sounds like he's related to Elon Musk. I mean, these names, Elon Musk and Hugo 1 are my cousins. Anyway, Mr. 1, who is 28, is regularly mistaken for Musk, who runs Tesla, in case you didn't know, and says he's getting stopped while at supermarkets, bars, and queues for nightclubs and doesn't enjoy the comparison. Quit bullying me.
Yeah. Well, then grow some dreadlocks or something.
Right? He looks so. I'm not even kidding. So here's another one we're going to share because there's video to go along with this. So he looks so just completely put out in this video. He's just sitting there, and these people are going on and on and on around him, and he's just sitting there with his arms crossed like this. So the article goes on to read, Hugo was most recently stopped on a reunion night out with his pals in Aberdeen, Scotland, when a group of lads shouted, "You're Elon Musk," at him. Can you imagine somebody just shouting, "You're Joe Breathy"? No shit.
Yeah.
Deciding to film the encounter, the strangers couldn't believe he wasn't the businessman. I'm sure he's like, listen, you little twats, I am not Elon. Hugo says he's stopped twice a month by strangers who comment on his likeness to Musk, with a few brave souls even asking for a selfie. These kids just straight up damn near assaulted him. They're just all over him. Musk, who's 53, so a 28-year-old, so it's bad enough being compared to Elon, I'm sure, but there's a 28-year-old getting mistaken for a 53-year-old man. I'm sure that's doing wonders for the ego. Musk, 53, is a senior advisor for the White House, but more widely known as the founder of SpaceX, project architect for Tesla, and owner of X, formerly Twitter. Despite the unwanted attention, Hugo likes the way he looks and can't see himself changing his appearance. Hugo, a disco soul singer from Luxembourg, says they were the fifth group of people to stop me that night. I was exhausted. And he looks it. So let's check out that video, Joe. Let's see just how stoked Mr. Hugo 1 is to be mistaken for Mr. Elon Musk. Yeah.
It's not going to have sound because it only shares the screen.
No, that's fine. We don't need to hear them. You can just imagine what a bunch of drunk Scottish lads are yelling at Elon Musk, or who they think is Elon Musk. That they are just stoked and are not taking this man's word that he is not Elon. Cameras out. It must suck to be a celebrity where everybody's up in your grill constantly.
It's ego boosting.
I'm sure it's ego boosting unless you're 28 and you're being mistaken for a 53-year-old.
Yes, that's true.
That's insulting. That's just insulting.
But I mean, like, imagine if you followed this dude, like, dude, we're gonna follow him back to his house. And he lives in like a single wide trailer.
Right. He lives in the trailer park from Rawhead Rex.
Yeah, he's driving like a Prius.
He shouldn't be. He should start belting it. Okay, so Ristel said he should start belting out some disco soul to prove he's not Elon. I don't even know. I gotta look that up now. I don't know what disco soul is. I like soul. I hate disco. So I'm super curious what that combo.
The way it's spelled, it looks like it's a band of some sort, double capitals.
Well, it could just be somebody who doesn't know how to write properly. I mean, it's the Huffy. So, yeah. So now we have the mystery chupacabra-like creature. We have nearly come to the end of my sharing. Let's take a look. This one's actually legit. Let's see. What do you think?
What? It's a
Wombat?
honey badger. Yeah.
Looks like a wombat with super long front legs. You know, it
Yeah.
also looks like a short-snouted anteater.
There you go.
But what's up with the red eye? What's up, like the whole like eye area? I mean, I get the eye, the reflection from the flash, or maybe
Right.
light. I don't know, but it looks like it's missing fur or something. It looks like it's tagged too.
Yeah, it's like a honey badger. Yeah, his ears tagged. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Like
looks
a
like,
honey badger with mange.
or maybe it transformed with an AirPod in its ear. Looks like that too. Looks like that too. And it's
But I
kind of
mean,
holding something like a raccoon holds the cat food before it runs off my porch.
right.
Like,
But I mean, but like it, I don't. I wonder what drove them to chupacabra because, like, that's not like anything that we, the main two definitions of chupacabra. You know.
well, well, okay. Here's it doesn't look like a traditional chupacabra. It's not the blue
Right.
dogfish. It doesn't
It's
look like
not. You're right.
the spines down its back.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a werewolf there, ma'am. You've got a
Yeah.
wombat,
A were badger.
a badger. There you go. So let's
We
see.
we just started our own new cryptid.
A badger. You know, there probably is that in some folklore somewhere. I swear to God, there's where everything. There's literally where everything. So the article under the weird but true was from April 10th of this year. And the headline reads, mysterious creature resembling blood-sucking chupacabra shows up at a woman's house in freaky footage. No one believed me. She is quoted as saying, so here be monsters, and it should be here, there be monsters. So a Colorado woman, oh shit, this isn't, I was thinking this was like in South America or something.
It's in Colorado.
It's in Colorado. What the hell is that then? It's like, looks like a raccoon, but without the bandit mask. Anyway, a Colorado woman was scared out of her wits after she was visited by a creepy critter that came in the night. A Facebook clip of the animal is baffling commenters, including wildlife officials, with guesses ranging from rabid wolverine to blood-sucking chupacabra from the Latin American folklore. I told everybody about it and no one believes me. A mortified Janae Lynn, 30, told Penn News of the baffling beast, which showed up outside of her home in Pueblo. So, all of you people who want to see something freaky, there's some weird-ass raccoons or badgers or raccoon badgers hanging out in Pueblo, Colorado. Find it, bring it back, let us know. I first saw it last Monday during the afternoon. Okay, it was during the day. It was sitting on the road in front of my house. I didn't run or act. It didn't run or act afraid of me, and it turned around and looked at me, and I got the chills and ran back inside. It's probably smart just in case it is a rabid badger.
Yeah.
It's walking like a raccoon. There's another photo of it profiled at night. It's got the little hump on its back like a raccoon. Anyway, she said, I opened my living room curtains, and there it was. It ignored her and started eating some cat food. It's a friggin' raccoon, lady.
Yeah.
Lynn decided to capture the critter on camera to prove the naysayers that it did, in fact, exist. The badger raccoon of Pueblo, Colorado, struck again.
Put a live trap out there and find out real quick.
Yeah, let's just go out there.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Put some wet cat food in it, and you'll have them.
Accompanying the footage shows the emaciated chocolate-colored beast. It's a freaking badger, which has long arms and pink scar tissue ringing the rat-like face, chowing down on a bowl of cat food outside the window. The clip concludes with the creature waddling away into the night. What the F is that? Seriously, exclaims Lynn in the clip before noting that the animal is all bloody. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you, Breezy, so you can show everybody. I don't think there is a um, video, even though it says there's a video, but I see a lot of stills, and I just took that one still. But there's one of this thing looking in the window, and it looks like a not scabies, but what is it that the animals get where their fur
Mange.
falls out? Mange. It looks like a mangy badger. It looks like a really mangy badger. Like it's got the blunted bottom teeth like a badger. It's a badger.
All right,
So
there's a
anyway,
Pizza Hut commercial, so I gotta wait on that.
okay. It's goes on to say another clip taken from outside her home. This time, the mangy marauder can be seen eating more cat food at the top of some concrete steps. So I just would say that if it were a chupacabra, I don't think it would be satisfied with cat food. I'm feeling like
Right.
it
Yeah.
might be interested in the cat, but not the cat food.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a
But it's
chupacabra
also
for a
grabbing
reason.
stuff like a raccoon, so I'm a little perplexed because its face looks very badgery in one of the photos because it's like right up against the glass, it looks like. But its little front arms are reaching out in the photo I showed like a raccoon. So maybe it is
Right.
some crossbred raccoon badger.
I haven't watched enough of the Animal Channel to know how badgers and how their motions are. I wouldn't know. Because I mean, some of those things they'll pick food up and run on like just its back legs and run away.
Yeah, the raccoons
You
will,
know?
but not badgers. Badgers
Yeah.
straight up just bump, 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 like bulldogs down the road.
Jesus, how many ads are there on this thing?
Just scroll down. There's stills. That's what I was wanting to look at. There's a still of it looking through the window.
Gotcha.
My cats are trying to murder each other in my living room.
Oh, here we go. All right. Bada bing, bada boom.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a mangy badger.
Does that look like a badger? But if you scroll up a little bit, there's other stills that look like right there. See the red circle? That's more raccoon shaped.
Yeah.
Badgers are a little lower to the ground, more like a Humvee, right? Lower to the ground and broad. That looks more like
right.
And the front arms there look like a raccoon. Thanks for the food, lady.
Yeah, and it does kind of have a little pattern there. It's got the widow's peak.
Like badger like. Now I will say that the ears or the tufts or whatever the hell's going on the side of its head there look a little bizarre. That looks like a raccoon. That looks like a badger. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that thing is. I mean, I'm ruling out chupacabra, but that is definitely an odd one. But I mean, who knows? It could be I don't know what DNA mixes with what, so it could be a half badger, half raccoon. I mean, there are
the island of Dr. Moreau.
Weird.
Yeah. Mixing badgers with raccoons. I don't know if he's trying to toughen up the raccoon or lighten up the badger.
Right. Yeah. A bag coon.
Badge coon.
Whoa.
Rabadger. Rabadger.
Yeah. I could turn that one the other way so
quick. Yeah, let's do that.
Badge coon.
Looks unnatural. I agree, Joe. Joe Two Pops. I agree. So there we go with the chupacabra story. So the last one. I'm just going to read the headline and then I'll show you the photo. Joe's going to lose his 12-year-old Joe is going to lose his mind over this.
Sweet.
So German hunters bellow like stags at National Deer Calling Championship. Like I said, I don't give a crap about this article. It's the photo I'm after. So apparently in Germany, a bunch of hunters like have a stag bellowing contest to see who sounds the most like a stag, I guess. I don't care. But they use instruments. They use instruments. And Joe, this one's for you.
Yes. I'm gonna need a little eye contact. A little eye contact. Yeah. You go for it, boy.
I mean, he looks like he got some practice in there. Is he trying to stick a spyglass down his throat?
You know, I've heard of weirder.
Yes, I mean, I'm impressed. He's like damn near unhinging his jaw. That ain't easy to do. And the look on his face while he's doing it. That's pure delight.
Yeah.
That's pure delight.
Oh yeah, no, there's not a bad time about that at all. He's enjoying every inch of that thing.
He sure is. I mean, and that is some pride and that is some confidence to get up on a stage in front of, I'm sure, a lot of people and stick that in your mouth and look happy doing it.
Yeah, and pretend that it doesn't look like what it looks like. Just like, no, this is totally normal. Some Australian was like, "You're doing the didgeridoo all wrong, bro."
Oh my gosh.
That's great. So, dude, I hope he's wearing those little German shorts with
lederhosen. He probably is.
God, I hope he is. That would just seal the deal.
It looks like he is actually. He looks,
That's what I thought.
That those are lederhosen straps. He's wearing them. He's wearing them. Those little suede shorts. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that was for you, Joe, because 12-year-old Joe needed to be
I'm gonna have to show Jen that and be like, "See, it can be done."
Quit your bitching. This dude's doing it on stage in front of everybody. And see that look on his face?
Pure ecstasy.
Get his contact info and ask what his secret is.
And he's obviously breathing. There's a microphone in front of it.
No, it is a stag calling contest, so he's probably breathing through that. Looks like a spyglass, but okay. I mean, everybody's got something. Okay. So, Joe, did you have any news to share?
Well, okay. So I had one and it's not anything recent or current, but you can actually, I think you can probably look at it because back when we used to do our little news channel thing, dude brought it up and he actually brought up the articles to it. But I don't know if anyone's heard of this, but NASA was, okay, here we go. NASA was sending pieces of bodies remains to the moon. And apparently there was a bunch of original Star Trek people that went up there. Part of George Washington went up there. And a bunch of Native American indigenous folk. And the Native Americans, I remember in the article, they were wholly pissed off because, and I don't say HOLYW hate, they were, completely pissed off because the moon's sacred and their ancestors' remains are sacred. But yeah, they sent some I want to say it was 300 remains from 300 different people or something like that. And I don't know if anyone wants to go chase down that story. That one's pretty interesting. I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, that is freaking bizarre. Why spend the money and resources on it? And B, why turn the moon into a partial graveyard? That's just fuck not.
Okay,
Find
so
my
they
fridge.
found an article from January of last year that said human remains are headed to the moon despite objections. The Navajo Nation called for a delay in launching the commercial lander Peregrine, which is set to carry human remains on a private mission to the moon. Just before the launch of the privately built moon lander, partially funded by NASA, the mission is being criticized for a portion of its cargo, the ashes of dozens of people receiving space funerals. Because the human remains, the president of the Navajo Nation wrote to the head of NASA and the Department of Transportation in late December to request that the launch be delayed. The objection lies in the fact that tradition of the Dene, the Navajo people, like those of many indigenous peoples, hold that the moon is sacred. Sending human remains there can thus be seen as an act of desecration. The controversy echoes in the incident that NASA faced in the late 1990s, but with the new twist brought on by today's global commercially aided moon rush, and it highlights how uncertain about what we can and can't be done in space are vast and gray as the moon itself. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's like I I hit the broad side of the barn on that one.
You got it right. You got it right.
So I found that one
Really say
interesting.
anything about other people being sent up there?
I do remember something about a George Washington thing, and I was like, what? But I think whenever he looked into it, it was just like pieces of his hair or something like that. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like they scooped him up and plopped a chunk in there. I think it was just like hair follicles or something like that.
Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah, and so there's that one, and then we did another one, and I don't know if it's still going down, but there was a penitentiary, either a penitentiary or state jail in Mississippi, I believe it was, and they were ended up they started burying inmates without the family's consent. And like whenever the family would ask to have the body relocated and buried, in their own place or whatever,
Sure.
They were showing up missing like entire whole sets of organs. But they were
shocking.
Well, yeah. But I mean, but like apparently they weren't even notifying certain people that their family members had passed. Like, so they think they're still writing them letters. They think that they're still, yeah. And then, but they're out.
To get letters and regular communications. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what the crimes are. There are some, you know how I feel about animal testing when there's
right versus inmate testing
of rapists and child molesters.
Right.
Leave the beagles alone.
Yeah.
And go grab the pedo out of cell block D.
Yeah, you can have the were badger, but leave the rest of them alone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That poor were badger looked like it needed some sort of medical attention.
It's all looking for a vet. Doesn't have insurance like me.
Some burn cream, lady. What you got in there? Just snacking on some cat food, waiting for you to come to your senses.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that one's more commonly because now that there's that whole thing that came out about the organ harvesting thing being a very popular thing. I know there was a big bust in, I want to say it was Arizona, where they found massive amounts of illegal organ banking, or they were holding them in freezers and stuff like that. So I mean, that's not so much weird, but it is outside of the norm, I guess you could say. And that's one that stuck with me. Okay. And my my last and final one, and I haven't had a chance to really dig down the rabbit hole on this one, but I have seen a couple of, reels about it. And so I don't know if you've heard about it, but I think it's in not Guadalajara. It's a South American country.
Guatemala?
Guatemala. Where they were excavating the site, and they just found the tip of a pyramid. And yeah, and this the pyramid, it has, they call it neo hieroglyphics. They're actually Egyptian hieroglyphics, but a little bit more modern. They're not as old as like the pyramids and stuff, but it is a form of hieroglyphics that came out later. But they found those, and then there's like a part where there's supposed to be a tomb.
Okay.
And carved into it is a freaking gray alien, like big eyes, big head, little body, whole 9 yards. And it's supposed to be on top of the tomb. And I don't know if they've excavated it or if the Smithsonian's came in and swooped down. But yeah. And they just got to the tip. It's just the tip at this point.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I've said it before.
I've found a few articles here. In one, the first one that pops up says ancient altar found in Guatemalan jungle, apparently used for something because it ellipses off. And the next one says exploring El Mirador, Guatemala's mysterious Mayan ruin. And then the other one says burned Mayan royals' remains discovered in Guatemala. So, which one do you think it is?
I don't know. I'd have to.
Apparently, I've read all of them because they're purple. So,
right.
Let's see.
No, I'd have to
altar
look at
found
it.
in Guatemalan jungle, apparently used for sacrifices, especially of kinder. So,
well, this is supposed to be like at a mountaintop that they thought looked like a pyramid, and they dug down and they just found, like I said, just the tip. So I think it's like, judging by how big a human is, they probably dug maybe 20, 30 feet down. And it's probably, just going off of memory, it's probably about maybe 15 feet wide at each side, with a really, really pointy
okay, it's not
cone top.
This is like Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
But it's not terribly tippy. I think this is they found an altar inside of an existing pyramid, or a found pyramid. And
But like I said, I only saw a couple like reels about it, and you know how we always talk about it. You can't trust anything. Like, even if it was in a regular news source, it's hard to trust also. But I don't know, because it could have just been one of those, kind of like the what was it, the columns under the pyramids that they found recently, but it was found in like 2000. You know what I mean? Like,
so it does have an interesting image, this other one, that shows a figure, and it almost looks like it has like a jetpack on its back.
That's cool.
That's interesting. So the El Mirador, exploring El Mirador. Okay. So anybody wants to, then burned royals remains. Wow. Discovered in Guatemalan temple pyramid. Apparently, they didn't like royals back then either. The discovery at the ancient site of I can't say Yucanal is believed to reflect a political regime change in the 8th or 9th century. Sounds right. They just burned him up.
Yeah. Now I'll do some homework on that one, see if I can dig through the BS. See
Yeah,
how
I'm interested in that one if you can find it.
because it looked pretty legit. Like it was like they were all, speaking Guatemalan or whatever, and dude was like zooming in on it, and you could see all the little hieroglyphs, and you could see the and then it was like that was when they found just the first part of it, and then as they got lower, that's when they found the alien dude carved into it. But I'll try to get it before our either tomorrow's show or our next show next week.
Sweet. So that was your final entry into the weird news category. I didn't expect us to go long tonight. We're going to wrap it up.
Right.
Just because we're easing back in. I'm sorry, I just can't get the image of the German.
Oh no, that's going with me to bed. So I didn't want to talk to you about it offline because I wanted to pick your nugget about it on the show. So what did you think about Hard Eyes?
Okay, so yes, I did watch Hard Eyes yesterday. And I mean, it was entertaining. It's just an updated slasher movie. It was interesting because I really did think that I have to admit that I missed like the last 10 minutes of it. I got to the point where
the twist.
I got past the twist, right? Where she's in the St. Valentine's Cathedral, right? But I didn't see anything past two of the characters talking to her while she's tied up. I didn't get that part. So I don't know what the final ending was on it. I thought it was entertaining, though. I really thought the dude that she was dating was the killer, or not dating. But it was, it wasn't terrible. I just her ad campaign was horrible, as a marketing person myself.
Breaking it down by her ad campaign.
Made you think that was a good idea?
Yeah, that's the part that got me, and that's when I hit you up about it. I was like, dude, I just the new generation of it's like that whole part where they're in the meeting and stuff. I don't know. It just looks so.
If I launched an ad campaign like that, I was responsible for a national ad campaign with that premise. Yeah, I would expect to get fired once I came to my friggin' senses, because clearly I was insane when I pitched it and then decided to move forward with it.
Right. I think it was, but okay, let me put it this way. I think it was kind of like the same thing when I first saw Scream. Like, you get this envisionment of how horror movies are supposed to look because of the way you grew up on them, right? Sure. With the filmography and the cinematography, and like when just seeing all these young kids and the way it was filmed, it looks so out of date.
I didn't hate it. Okay, so Hard Eyes I didn't hate. I loved Scream when it came out, but I liked it there's a lot of reasons I liked it. It was unique for its time, right? It was, now it's whatever, but back when it first came out, it was different, and I liked that. Yeah. And of course I liked because it was filmed around where I grew up, so I was like, I know where that is. And it's just fun to be able to do that in a movie. But I still, kind of turn to Scream. It's not my go-to horror movie, but if it's on, I'll watch it. I don't think poorly of it. But I get what you're saying. It's different. And if you have a certain, I don't know, look or filmmaking type set in your head, and you go to see something, like if you're thinking 80s slasher and you go see Hard Eyes, you're gonna be like that.
Right. Well, the kills were good.
They
were on point, yeah. But it's like, okay,
creative kills in there.
I guess the best way to describe it is, how you watch a horror movie and it's so low budget that you can tell it just has like that, almost like a a porno feel to it. Like you can tell it has like air in the sound, and you can, you know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
feels very, very
It's
staged.
gritty. It's gritty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gritty. And then you got like that perfect medium. Well, this one was like the opposite. It was like way too clean.
It was super
You know what I
clean.
mean? Yeah, it was like it was like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It felt so so uh, so not high budgeted, but such good film production that it took you out and made it feel fake
I mean,
until it
I
got down to
will
the
say,
kill.
as somebody who just cannot stand Valentine's Day, I think it's the stupidest freaking holiday ever. Stupid that I didn't dislike it based on that alone. Like, somebody
Right.
doesn't like it just as much as me, and the thought of somebody, and I almost texted you, "Dude, I'm down with this killer." He's going city to city every year, just knocking out couples.
Yeah.
F you and your love. It
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, I found some plot holes in it. I
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
I can't remember them, but there were some plot holes with uh, the killer and the locations. Um, I'd have to watch it. I have to gruel through it and watch it again, actually jot them down. But I mean, all in all, it was a good movie. I dug it. It just was very Gen Z for
It's
my taste.
entertaining. It's entertaining at the end of the day. Like, am I gonna go out and buy it? No. No, but it was entertaining. Like, I
Right.
don't feel like I need that, 2 hours of my life back. I'm okay. It served its purpose. It entertained me.
Yeah. And the outfit was dope. I
Yeah,
like
the
the
outfit
look.
was sweet.
Yeah.
I love the goggles you can turn on for the night vision. They glow red.
All red.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I'd give it like a 3.5 out of 5.
okay,
You know, about that.
okay. So we'll talk about books for a minute before we sign off. And I'm gonna talk about my latest, finish. Man, I've read so many books since I since I did a book thing. So, the one that I most recently finished, because I went back through the 3 or 4 that I finished since I did a show, and it's called The Reddening, and it's by Adam Neville, and he's a pretty good author. I've read some of his other work. But tonight we're gonna talk about The Reddening, and it is a folk horror book. So if you liked like Wicker Man, you'd like The Reddening. And it takes place, uh, I want to say in Wales. I could be mistaken, but it's in England somewhere, in the area. I understand Wales is a separate country, but it's in that vicinity, right, along the coast. And it has to do with a community that worships and makes sacrifices to a very old creature that lives underground there, and how many people in the village are covering it up and profiting off of it. And it's a good read. It's a good read. If you like folk horror, you would like this book very much. It's called The Reddening, again, by Adam Neville, and I do recommend it. I do recommend it. And I kind of was tossing around this book or another one that I finished that I was kind of about, because I mean, I'm always talking about books that I just love, but sometimes, I read a book and I didn't hate it, but some of them I can read again and again and again. And this other book, not The Reddening, but this other book that I was debating to talk about, I just it's like a one and done. I'm not going to read that again. But I need to include in my opinions books like that, because you might get recommended something and think, well, that might be a good one. Yeah, yeah. But The Reddening, here by Adam, is great. It's great. I love folk horror. I'm really into werewolf books right now, and it looks like a werewolf on the cover. It's not a werewolf. It's definitely people. There is a monster involved under the ground. They talk about it. They have a name for it. They have a whole festival around it. It's not one that I've ever heard of before. Uh, so I'm not sure if that is made up or not. I've tried to research it. I couldn't really find much on it that didn't relate back to the books. I'm thinking it's fictitious.
Right.
But again, if you like a whole folk horror, then that one will be good. And then I've got these are up in my lineup next. So right now, I just started reading The Werewolf's 15 Minutes by Jonathan Mayberry, and I like Jonathan Mayberry. I like this author, but this book, it's got a slow start for me because it's very, you know how you thought Hard Eyes was like Gen Z, kind
Right.
of irritating. This book is starting off like that for me.
Gotcha.
Because The Werewolf's 15 Minutes is about a dude who's a werewolf, and his 15 minutes of fame, he transforms on video and uploads it to YouTube, and he gets real famous because people think he's some like awesome FX guy, and he's like, "No, I'm a werewolf," and they're like, "I'm sure you are, okay." Even though he transformed on film, and then it's him trying to hold on to that 15 minutes. So it's it's a little annoying for me right now. Hopefully we can get past it. If not, then I'm going to move along to one of these other two. So either Werewolf or Tansy Blue Monster Hunter. I'm not sure which one, but coming soon are going to be one of those three books if you want to read along with me and know what I'm talking about in the near future. It's going to be one of those.
I wonder if it's inspired by that dude that transforms to a werewolf. I don't know if you've seen that. It's I think I've seen it on YouTube, but he's like in a police confessional, and they're like talking to him. He's like, "I'm fixing to turn," and all he just does is just, like.
So there is clinical lycanthropy. There is legit
yeah.
lycanthropy where people will do that. They will do that. They think they're transforming. And it is a serious mental illness. And, they do kind of slaver, they salivate, they get a wild look, but that's just somebody going bananas, somebody just completely going off the rocker.
I can do that after a bottle of Jack Daniels. I mean, it happens.
Look at me, I'm a werewolf. Yeah, see me.
Yeah. I'm a werebadger. Yeah.
Don't talk to me like that, David. I'm trying to be serious. So anyway, those are the books. Maybe it's inspired by that. I hadn't seen that clip, but I've seen clinical lycanthropy, so it's probably something similar to that.
Right.
So it would be cool if you guys want to check any of those out. Again, we'll see if I can power through the next couple of chapters of Werewolves 15 Minutes. If I can't do it, then I'll scrap it. And I do that with some of them. And I'm going to start, I think, rereading a couple of books too, because like I said, there's some that I can just read over and over again. And I love them. I love them. I love the story. I love the whole world that's created. And there is the Monster Hunters International series of books that I have read everything. I have read every single one of those books, plus the three, maybe it's 3 or 4 offshoots of it, like just little side stories about characters that they reference throughout the series that have either passed or had an influence on it, the organization. But the Monster Hunter International, I need to do a whole video on that because it's such a crazy world and it's such a good series. So with that, I will stop blathering on about books. And Joe, you want to tell anybody anything before we sign out?
Not really. I mean, we're gonna do the show tomorrow, unless an asteroid hits or something. But I'm tossing up on doing that Range 4 Harry thing because I've been nitpicking through it, and I'm finding a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That makes it a very questionable. Not that I'm doubting it or doubting someone's experience or anything like that, but there are things that make you go about it, and there are also things that make you completely buy it. So
what is it again?
The short and skivvy of it is this dude in the 60s who was stationed out in in Nevada. What's the Air Force Base in Nevada? I forgot the name of it. I'll get it together by tomorrow. And he was doing weather. He's doing the weather post. So there's like 4 different posts for where they have the weather stations. Mm-hmm. And he ends up running into, and everyone knows about it but him, but he ends up running into these, calls them the tall whites. And mm-hmm. they're an alien race that live out there. And basically kind of befriends them, and so, but yeah, if you want to do your research on it or whatever, if not, I'll try to get as much as I can. But yeah, but it's weird, like some of them in the beginning they describe Range 4 Harry, that's his name, as like a white horse is what some people see him as. And then I think it might be Nellis Bristol. And then, but basically he's like a really tall white albino dude with really long hair, and the whole race kind of looks like that. But it's pretty interesting. We'll go through it if I do decide on it. And because there's some and then there's some that sounds about right. So we'll mess with that maybe.
Okay, that's good.
Right on.
All right, so check out me and Breezy tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about that and whatever else pops in our noggins between now and then. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Sorry that we've been on hiatus for 2 weeks, but stuff happens.
It happens.
Sometimes we got to take care of ourselves. So do you. So until next time, we'll catch you all on the flip side.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.